Hello again! Last video of the week. Whew! Alright, this one is our synthesis essay assignment. You have 5 of these throughout the semester. All the due dates are listed on the syllabus. Hold on, my dog is bugging me. Alright, all of these are listed on the syllabus. Oh, here's Jerome. Say hi. Hi, everyone. Okay, he's going to go back to sleep, I'm sure. On the syllabus, on the assignment description itself as well. The length of these are 500 words each, and as I mentioned in the weekly update, that's about 2 double-spaced pages. It's 5% of your final grade, so 25% total, I should say 5% each. And you need a minimum, in terms of sources, a minimum of 3 of our assigned readings or viewings. This comes from each phase, and I'll explain what that means in just a second. Do not do outside research for any of these assignments. You need to use APA citation, and the document design is the same as the interview assignment. 12-point Times New Roman, Calibri, font, 1-inch margins. Kind of like when you open up Word, just like your standard set document design. And the acceptable file types are Word docs, PDFs, stuff like that. All right, so what in the world is a synthesis essay? All right, stop snoring, buddy. I know, it's kind of weird. I have my dogs in this video. I'm sorry if you're like a cat person or hate dogs or something. They're not going to jump through the screen. I'm sorry. All right, what is a synthesis essay? A synthesis requires that you place 2 or more texts in conversation with each other. For these assignments, you will use at least 3. The idea synthesize suggests that you suggest blending together to make a whole. That's what you're doing for these essays. You're looking at the pieces, the assigned readings and viewings, reading and watching them carefully, and blending together interesting ideas from at least 3 of them. A synthesis essay is not merely summary. Your synthesis essay should have a clearly articulated argument. You will only spend a very brief time summarizing, maybe 1 or 2 sentences per source. I've already read and viewed these sources, so I'd rather view or read what you have to say about the sources instead of rereading summaries. Make sure you spend time writing about the 3 sources and how they connect or differ from each other. So you might forward the argument to say, I'm going to argue in this synthesis essay that these 3 sources about technopanics really indicate how fear really rules, society in a very distinct way in terms of technology. Or I'm going to talk about the 3 essays about autonomous vehicles, and I'm going to argue that this proves that our autonomous vehicles are not very good technology. Something along those lines, So you're really trying to make it a specific argument by using what's mentioned in the articles or videos that you're using for this specific essay. So the assignment description. For each synthesis essay, you're required to select at least 3 of the readings and or videos from the specific phase in which the synthesis essay is due. To clarify, for synthesis essay number 1, you can only use readings and videos from phase 1. Once you select it, so say synthesis essay 2, only readings and viewings from synthesis essay 2, only readings and viewings from phase 2. So you get that idea. Once you select the readings and viewings of videos that you'd like to write about, you should clearly construct an argument about them. For instance, is there a particular point of view you agree or disagree with? Why? What are the points put forth in these readings and videos that help support your own point of view? Here are some questions to help you explore the ideas in the text. What are the dominant patterns of language and ideas, repetitions, emphases, tensions, omissions that you observe in each text? What similarities and differences do you see in the way the authors choose to frame the issues they're writing about? How do their arguments differ? What are the main similarities and differences in their angles of vision? What are the similarities and differences you see in the authors or speakers' underlying values and assumptions? Again, I gotta sneeze. What overlap, if any, is there in the authors or speakers' examples and uses of terms? Then here are questions to help you develop your own ideas about and synthesize the text you read and watch. Do I have any knowledge from my personal experience that's influencing my response to these texts? What do I agree with and disagree with about the texts I've analyzed? If I found one author's perspective more valid, accurate, interesting, or useful than another's, why do I feel that way? And then how have these texts changed my perception and understanding of an issue, question, or problem? And you might want to use these prompts. I used to think blank, but now I think this. Although these texts have persuaded me that blah, 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 I still have doubts about this. It's important to think about your readers or audience when crafting any type of writing. For these essays, you should imagine your audience as a group of well-educated peers, but ones who are not as familiar with our course topic or even the text you've read and viewed. Therefore, some summary will be necessary. Again, maybe 1 or 2 sentences per source. Let me be clear, this essay is not about summary. Instead, it's about how well you extrapolate ideas from each text and support an argument. Back again. Okay. Sorry, I had to pause that for a second, so there might be like a continuity issue. So we have 2 frameworks. Yep. Sorry, this is a really hectic thing with these dogs right now. This might be a pattern for these videos. All right, anyway, so you have 2 different frameworks you can choose for this essay. Framework A and Framework B, just like the interview assignment. Framework A is the introduction and summary of all texts. So you're going to briefly summarize the text here. You're going to present your thesis, which maps out your main analytical and synthesis points. And your thesis might come at the end of the paragraph with your summaries or in a mini paragraph on its own. Then you're going to have 2 different sections. An analysis section, which includes paragraphs developing and discussing your analytical points. So really pulling information from the different articles or videos that really emphasize what you're saying in your thesis. Then you'll have a synthesis section, which includes paragraphs discussing and developing your synthesis points or how the different essays and videos connect with each other. Then you'll have a concluding paragraph, which reiterates the values and limitations of the text you've analyzed. So maybe you wish a text had talked more about something or one that was really, really important to you, pulls together new insights, and leaves readers thinking about your views. Framework B starts off with the intro that presents your thesis, which maps out your main analytical and synthesis points. And then it summarizes and analyzes the first text, summarizes and analyzes the second text, and summarizes and analyzes the third text. And then it's followed by your synthesis points. And so you develop the synthesis points for all 3 different texts that you're including. When I say text, I mean the readings and viewings. And then the concluding paragraph is the same as Framework A. Reiterates values and limitations, pulls together new insights, and leaves readers thinking about your views. In the grading, I'll be looking for thoughtfully constructed essays that follow frameworks. And I'll also be using the 212 rubric, again, that's listed on this, at the very end of the syllabus. And I'll be looking for incorporation of my feedback left on previous papers, specifically the synthesis essays. And if you continuously ignore those suggestions, you'll receive deductions. Later on, when you do have actual essays to review and I've left feedback, I'll show you how to access that feedback. And if you summarize too much, you won't have success on this paper. So those are the synthesis essays. Again, you have 5 of them throughout the semester. The very first one is due January 27th. So that's it, about 2 weeks. And so you have a little bit of time to work on that one. Again, questions or anything, shoot me an email or contact me in any way that's easiest for you. I'd be happy to help. All right, bye. Last video, you're done watching me for the week.